The Texans doing big business in New York, but no help today, so nothing is clinched just yet for Houston.
Our goals are still ahead of us. We got a lot of football still to play.
We'll go one-on-one with Jonathan Joseph and Jadeveon Clowney after their 10th win in 11 games. And Lance Zierlein is in studio to break it all down.
And all of a sudden, the Rockets can't lose. And the Cougars have gone all season without a loss. We'll look into how playing in the new Fertitta Center has helped.
And Houston will be well represented at the state championships in Arlington. Marshall head coach James Williams joins us on the show tonight. Take a load off. Bring your friends. Sports Sunday starts now.
Live from KPRC Channel 2, this is Sports Sunday, presented by Nissan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sports Sunday. Randy McAvoy alongside Laney Fritz and Adam Wexler. Great to have you with us from 0-3 to the season. How about 10-4 now for the Texans?
That's amazing.
Winning yesterday against the Jets and got a little help today for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, all in the way you look at it, all these playoff clinching and division clinching scenarios, but the help they got was let's bump up to the 2 seed.
Or you could just do it like the U of H Cougars and never lose. Just keep winning.
How about that?
They are 10-0 under head coach Kelvin Sampson. We're going to talk about the key behind all of that and how they just keep winning.
What a fun team to watch in a
Very
great
fun.
arena. Fertitta Center is unbelievable. Great environment there. Hey, let's jump right into the Texans. Here's how it happened, of course. Over the weekend there at MetLife Stadium, the Texans notching just the 3rd double-digit win season in franchise history. Run game struggle. Lamar Miller left early with an ankle injury, but Deshaun and DeAndre there to pick up the slack. Texans built another big first-half lead and appeared to be in cruise control.
Yes, but we have seen this before. The offense goes cold, forcing the defense to play a bunch of snaps. The Jets scored the game's next 3 touchdowns and took the lead with 5 minutes to go.
I wouldn't want any other quarterback in this entire universe other than him. That's what DeAndre Hopkins said after Watson and the brilliance from that game. 270 yards, 2 touchdowns for that duo. And win number 10, a first for the O'Brien-led Texans.
I guess it's in my DNA. Done it a lot in college and, got to continue to do it in the NFL at this level because the best do it. And like I said before, every game comes down to that final drive. And when you have the ball in your hands and the opportunity to win it, you got it.
You go 9 in a row and then you lose one, and we told ourselves all week, you just got to win one. You got to win one. That's what we told ourselves when we were 0-3. That's what we told ourselves all week this week, and it wasn't pretty by any means. It was a hard-fought game. It was a battle.
Yes, it was. Texas on the verge of another AFC South crown. That would be their 5th title in the last 7 years, by the way. Quarterback Jonathan Joseph has been here for all of them. I caught up with J.Joe yesterday inside the Texans locker room. As JJ tweeted after the game, he said, you find a way to get things done in this league, doesn't matter who you play.
Absolutely, man. In this league, it's always hard to win. You never look at an opponent and say, well, we should have did this, did that. You got to take your wins and then, at the end of the day, go out and fix the mistakes and correct from on there.
How proud are you of this defense, knowing when you guys needed plays the most down the stretch, you guys stepped up and made it?
Man, it's big because, we had that communication on the sideline. We knew what the situation was going to be. We had all the faith in the world that the offense was going to go down there and do their job, and they did. And we knew it'd be back up to us to seal it off.
Was this the perfect example of a team being 4-9 you can't take lightly in this league?
Absolutely, because they got several good players over there, good coaching staff and things like that. And we knew coming in it's going to be, a tough opponent. They do a lot of things over there really well. Got a great young team, some skilled guys and stuff. But I think, to be the team we want to be, we got to be able to go out there and beat teams like this. No matter how the outcome is, at the end of the day, we was down, we came back and won the game.
They took the lead with, 5 minutes left. What was going through your mind on the defensive side when Deshaun and this offense had the ball? Was there any doubt in your mind that he was going to drive him right down?
Oh, not at all. All I was thinking about what we was going to do defensively to go out there and stop him and put this game away. Because I had all the confidence in the world. I've seen Deshaun go down several times and, work the offense and do it, pretty much flawlessly.
10 wins. How's that feel right now?
It's a great feeling, man.
You got stuff to accomplish.
Absolutely. But if you can get 10 wins in this league, man, you're doing something. We don't want to just hang our hat on 10 wins, but, to be at this with 2 more games left in the season with 10 wins, from being 0-3.
Congratulations on the win.
Appreciate you,
JJ.
No
Thanks, man. All right, my thanks to the ageless wonder. J.Joe still as reliable as ever, even in his 13th NFL season. Now, with more insight into last night's game and these 10-4 Texans football team, let's send it over now to Adam Wexler, hanging out with ESPN 97.5's Lance Zierlein.
Plenty to get into with the Texans once again, joined by Lance Zierlein, ESPN 97.5 and NFL Network, analyst who has seen this Texans team do some predictable things over the course of the season. Probably didn't think a 10-win season was on the horizon at the beginning, but
I did not.
The way yesterday's game played out, somewhat predictable for this 10-win team.
It was somewhat predictable, and it's a team, Adam, that, as we both know, they really need to run the football well. When Deshaun Watson has a running game in front of them, that team is much tougher. They're much less predictable, I should say, and they're much harder to game plan against. And I think Bill O'Brien gets in a rhythm. It gives Deshaun Watson the ability to get into a rhythm. And right now, without that running game, they just can't find a rhythm. It was very similar to what we saw happen in Denver, where they couldn't run the ball after running it effectively the games before, and then the offense just completely loses rhythm.
Alfred Blue basically ran into a brick wall for an entire afternoon of football.
It's funny when you ask Blue. It's funny when you ask players to rise to the level of their competence, they can do it, and that's what Blue has done this year. We'll watch Blue and say, well, he's doing a nice job. That's good enough for right now. But then when you ask him to take on a bigger part of the load, and you ask him to hit chunk plays and explosive plays, he just can't do it. He doesn't have that juice. And they really could have used a player like Foreman today in that particular game, a guy that could have been a bell cow, but you didn't have him. You didn't have a running game, and it really leaked into other aspects of your offense, as we talked about.
Deshaun Watson gets hit a lot, gets sacked a lot.
Yeah.
The offensive line always takes the heat for it, but you and I know a lot of what's happened probably for 3 straight weeks is he likes holding on to that pigskin.
Well, it's funny because with Deshaun Watson early in the season, it was absolutely on the offensive line. It was an offensive line that wasn't doing their job. The offensive line, they made the changes. They moved, Davenport back to the left side, and we started to see better protection, but now the sacks are becoming more heavily influenced by Watson hanging onto the ball. So where it was on the offensive line previously, and look, they certainly have some accountability as well with some of the sacks. But Watson right now is not getting rid of the ball. And more importantly, defenses know this, and they're gaming him into hanging onto the ball longer.
So where are you with the balance between he hangs onto the ball too much, he's getting hit and sacked a lot, but they never turn the ball over, almost ever. He's only got 2 picks in his last 8 games.
Yeah, it's tough because I do like the fact that he is taking better care of the football. And ultimately, I think a guy who doesn't take care of the football has a hard time breaking out of that habit. I have seen Ben Roethlisberger get rid of the ball more quickly later in his career, and so I do believe that can be worked on. But that internal clock, we saw Drew Bledsoe never got it worked out. So certain quarterbacks never work it out, but the difference between Drew Bledsoe and Deshaun Watson is Watson can make explosive plays, and Bledsoe couldn't. So as long as he's not turning the ball over, we'll sit and moan and fuss about it.
Right.
He's still making plays to win games.
Why were they so successful on that game-winning final touchdown drive?
I think one of the reasons is because they started working in rhythm, and Bill O'Brien started running some of the sugar huddle stuff and allowing the Texans to play with pace. And I think that's the really difficult thing for Bill O'Brien as a play caller right now is how does he manage controlling the clock with a quarterback who's used to playing with pace in college and clearly gets into a rhythm with pace. And I thought the big play, we saw Watson have trouble handling issues, having issues and handling the zero blitzes and, blitzes that were coming. He could see him coming a mile away, still struggled. In that last series, he did a great job of recognizing blitz, getting the ball out in rhythm to DeAndre Hopkins for a first down. Well, maybe a first down.
He's right there at the line.
Jay, they gave it to you. And I thought that was one of the key, the critical plays of the game. It also showed growth inside of a game with your quarterback who made a mistake in the same situation earlier in the game. Here he made a play.
Well, they'll get the Eagles for their final road game in a week and be back home for the Jaguars to wrap up the season in the home finale, the final Sunday of the season. Lance, always appreciate the time analyzing these Texans who are 10-4. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Here is why the Texans did not clinch the division. The Colts clobbered the Cowboys. They blocked the field goal in the opening drive. Then the Cowboys, trying to tie the game at 7 right here, in Ezekiel Elliott on 4th and goal, loses yards and he fumbles. Colts Marlon Mack runs it in. He had 139 yards, and the Colts shut out the Cowboys 23-zip.
All right, here's why the Texans did not clinch a playoff berth today. Steelers hosting the Patriots. They had lost now. The Texans would have clinched, but they take the lead on this Antonio Brown touchdown. Pittsburgh had to really have this football game. In final seconds, Patriots need a TD to tie. Brady wants Edelman. Incomplete. That's how it ends. 17-10, the final. Huge win for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, so with everything that happened today, here is the AFC playoff picture. And this is a beautiful thing. Who can believe, guys, that the Texans in line for a first-round bye after that 0-3 start of the season?
Yeah, what a turnaround it has been. A fun team to watch, and despite some obstacles along the way, they can clinch the division now. The AFC South with a victory coming up next week. They'd get a top 2 seed if they win out against Philadelphia and Jacksonville. So these final weeks, exciting. Final stretch of this regular season in the National Football League. Welcome Wex back in. How do you guys view this playoff picture and really the Texans' current spot right now? They got a big help from the Steelers win today.
Yeah, being in that 2 spot, that's theirs to hold on to. They wouldn't have the tiebreaker over the Patriots clearly, so being ahead of them is what had to happen. I think a lot of people saw something they didn't want to see from the Eagles tonight, who the Texans get next week. Their quarterback, Jared Goff, got beat up tonight. That's got to be a concern if they're trying to win out and get a top 2 seed.
Yeah, I love where the Texans are at right now. It's where they've kind of been all season, where they love to be in the driver's seat. They are in control of their own destiny. But I think, like you said, when you watch, what Philly did, it does worry you a little bit today. And Jacksonville, who knows, they can be a sleeper. I mean, they shut out the Colts.
And you got this lurking behind in this division. You've got the Colts playing good football. And, the Titans won again today against the Giants.
Yeah, one thing that could happen with a game coming up on Saturday, Baltimore and the Chargers are playing. The Texans could actually clinch that playoff berth on Saturday if Baltimore loses, because the Colts and Titans play each other the final week, meaning one of them is not going to get to that 10-win mark the Texans are at. But the good thing is nobody's really talking about that. That's why they were focused on Pittsburgh winning today to help them bump up in the standings. That's good news for Texans fans to be looking for more. You were in the locker room. You've been in the locker room throughout the week.
They just got to keep focusing on themselves.
They want much more than a division title.
Yeah, they want to advance that play a little bit longer into January, maybe February, the Super Bowl. Hey, one group who never doubted they'd be in this position are the players in this Texans locker room. That's where I caught up with the Pro Bowler, Jadeveon Clowney, after yesterday's win over the Jets.
Number 10, it's got to be a sweet feeling, although you guys have bigger goals than getting this one today.
Oh, yeah, man, that's a great feeling, man. More wins I've had in my 5 years here up on O'Brien. It's a great feeling. I'm happy for him and the organization for it to be heading in the right direction. Heading to the playoffs again. We missed it last year, but this one will be a big. We just got to clinch it. Get ready for a big opponent next week against Philly.
Perfect example of Jets struggling this year, but you can't take any team lightly.
Man,
they had the lead in the fourth quarter.
I don't care about no record of any team in this league. All of them got great players. You cut the tape on all the teams. They all got great players in every position. We just got to, whichever team prepare their week and come to play the team I think can win them games. No matter what, they all come down to the end.
Y'all's best football still ahead of you?
Oh, for sure, man. We got complimentary football. We got to keep playing it. We got to do a lot better than we did this game. All right, bud. All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
Thanks, buddy.
Come on, you got to love NBA basketball. Get dunked on.
Coming up, have the Rockets figured it out? Have they turned that corner finally? We ask it all the time. As they ride this 3-game winning streak, we will take a look.
Guys focused, and again, they kept saying, what would you want us to do? And he wanted them to go out there and fight and win the game.
Still to come on Sports Sunday, an emotional trip to the state championship game after the death of a teammate. Marshall head coach James Williams joins us to discuss what his team is going through this week.
We've hit a rhythm now, and I guess probably the last, trying to think, 18 games, we're probably 2 or 3 points better than as the best offense in the league. And we knew we were going to get there. We hated that we started so slow.
The Houston Rockets, a modest 3-game winning streak, but there is a clear change in how they've been playing and practicing that is making a real difference and could have fans, but more importantly, the team, believing they can make a real climb back near the top of the standings.
It's starting to get fun again, where you can almost walk into a game and where you can just feel like you really have a good chance of just winning for sure.
I think we're just not getting to 500, so guys still have the mindset of we ain't really done anything yet. We're still trying to build a rhythm, and but we like where it's going though.
Haven't really done anything yet. They already sound like the Texans. They get Utah tomorrow, then the Wizards and Trevor Ariza come in town on Wednesday. Games against the Heat and Spurs before that Christmas date with the Thunder. It's long past time to get a real streak going. Maybe owner Tillman Fertitta can enjoy himself there as much as he has been at the new Fertitta Center, where his Cougars just keep winning. Lainey Fritz has more on that. Hey, Lainey.
Yeah, this is the other Houston Hoops team that is having a much better start to their season. The Cougars are a perfect 10-0 to start the season after their win over a tough St. Louis team today. 14 lead changes in this one. It came down to the final seconds. Dejan Giroux has a big-time block there, and then a triple from Corey Davis sealed it. And now 23 straight wins at home for Coach Sampson's program.
It is now 23 in a row for Houston. Second longest win streak in the entire country. What a game.
When head coach Kelvin Sampson took over the basketball program in 2014, the Cougars had 13 wins total that season. Now in his 5th year, he's got the program rolling with their first 10-0 start since 1967.
I've got a great group of young men. No doubt we'll get back to practice and continue to get better. Just because our record says 10-0, we didn't all of a sudden become Duke.
I mean, to be in this beautiful arena, just to get our 23rd win, I mean, means a lot. So we're going to try to keep it going for sure.
The Cougars have been down in a few games this season, but never out. They continue to grind out big wins, which should help down the stretch in the season.
Got the three. What a big shot.
You know, having to call timeout and draw something up and go out and execute it, having to go get a big stop and get a big rebound. You know, we're going to be in a lot of close games. You know, I don't see us as a team that's going to be blowing a lot of people out. We're going to have to fight and claw for just about everything we get.
So next up, they stay here in Houston this week, hosting a 9-2 Utah State team on Thursday. This is my first time in the Fertitta Center today, and I have to say, if you have not been, you should go Thursday night and check it out.
No question about it. I've been there. It's great. Still ahead, 3 Houston area teams had a chance to earn a state title game berth, and all 3 got it done. Some thrilling moments from their wins on the way.
And the Marshall Buffaloes are in that group after their emotional week culminated with an exciting win in San Antonio. Their head coach, James Williams, joins us next. Sports Sunday's back in 2 minutes.
This is Sports Sunday, presented by Nissan.
All right, welcome back. Many agreed at the beginning of this year, North Shore was the cream of the crop in Class 6A. 15 wins later, only one team stands in their way of an undefeated season. Mustangs took control in the semifinals against powerhouse Lake Travis, and they never looked back. Zach Evans ran for 4 scores in a 51-10 rout. They'll get Duncanville coming up on Saturday night at Jerry World in Arlington. The Cinderella season for Shadow Creek equally impressive, as was their 4th quarter yesterday against San Antonio Wagner. Missed field goal, touchdown return was something, as was the day for quarterback Demarion George, who had 4 touchdowns. The first-year varsity program gets 2-time defending state champion Highland Park Saturday morning, 11 a.m. kickoff there in Arlington. And the story for the Marshall Buffaloes is a heartbreaking one. Just days after teammate Drew Conley was shot and killed, the team was in San Antonio, continuing the best season in school history with an emotional victory to reach the state title game for the very first time. Signs for Drew were there at the stadium and back at school as well overnight when we were there as the team arrived after the win. All right, let's talk more about the Marshall Buffaloes and their trip to the state championship coming up later this week. Pleasure to be joined by this man, the head coach, 9th year in charge of the Buffaloes, head coach James Williams. Coach, thanks for the time tonight.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. We're excited about the game and looking forward to it on Friday night.
I want to get to the matchup with Aledo in a moment, Coach, but the entire state of Texas, the greater Houston area, all of Fort Bend County obviously has been following in the passing of one of your players, the tragic news that happened over the last week or so. Walk us through what that has been like for you as a head coach. I know you've gotten tremendous support from around the community.
Well, obviously it's very, very challenging and, very difficult situation to deal with. It's unthinkable. You never think of anything like that happening to, any young man, especially, anybody in your program as well. But, the team has done a great job. I commend the players, the coaches, the community for how they've handled it. Again, very difficult situation where a lot of grieving has been taking place, a lot of mourning has been taking place. But, they set a goal to finish the goal for their teammate Drew, and the support that's been coming from the outside has been so much needed and so appreciated from whether it's in our school, whether it's in our district, whether it's outside our district, outside Houston area. Just so many people have reached out to us, and we thank them so much because it's very much needed. And we talked about last week that, that adversity is here. We have to deal with it, but we're going to do it. We have one more step to take to get to our goal. And when those last seconds went off the clock, it was so emotional. It was so it was fun. It was enjoyable, but knowing at the same time the emotions of Drew and this week all coming about at the same time. A lot of tears, a lot of hugs, a lot of kisses, a lot of I love yous. Because again, it's a team effort, and this team loves each other, and they're a team, and that's what teams do. They come together and deal with adversity.
You play for a state championship. When you guys get started in August, this is what you dream about. You've got a very good Aledo program that's won state championships. What does this week mean? You get a chance to play for the Hardware coming up on Friday night.
It's a big week. I mean, it's the most important game in all of our lives. This is, it's a great opponent. Aledo is a tremendous team, a tremendous program. We've had success for many, many years. They've been to several state championships, and it's truly an honor to go against a team like this. We're excited for it. We're ready for it. Our kids are, again, they're motivated because, again, this was our ultimate goal when we started in August, just like you said. But you add on top of knowing that we want to do this for Drew, we want to do this for number 3, and just like you said, we want to remember number 3 with this game and play the game the right way and honor him with the way we prepare this week, with the way we carry ourselves, and the way we play that game on Friday night.
Well, thoughts and prayers continue for the entire Marshall High School family over the loss of Drew Connolly. Coach, we really appreciate the time tonight. Congratulations on advancing to the championship game. We'll be covering you all week, and of course, leading up to the Friday showdown with Aledo. Best of luck, and get that state championship. Thanks for the time tonight, Coach.
Thank you so much for having me. We really appreciate it, and remember 3.
Hey, so I think we're almost out of time. Tomorrow, 11 a.m., we're talking to Coach O'Brien, and we'll kind of look ahead for what's next for the Texans.
Big weekend.
In about 11 seconds, we'll be talking on Facebook Live.
Yeah, I've got the phone. We're going to dial it up, and we're going to be talking to you. Join us. We'll do it again next week. Have a great week, everybody.